Salutations, folks. If you're just coming in, please grab a raffle ticket because I was feeling magnanimous, and so I shall be giving out this. Yes. So feel free to get your ticket. Welcome to, of course, Houston Writing Central and Public Poetry's collaborative open mic to celebrate AAPI month here at Brazos Bookstore. I am Đức Quang, or Vo De Quang, Public Poetry's executive director, and I am absolutely elated for this evening's event. Of course, I'm not as elated as the person earlier who asked me if I was the groom, and to which I respond, yes, and the reception will be at Brazos Bookstore. So I want to begin, first off, by thanking Houston Writing Central, Caelan and Sean. Just fun fact, when your organization was founded a decade ago, under the name WriteSpace, one of the earliest partnerships for the 2016 Writers Reunion was public poetry under my predecessor. So in a sense, we're just continuing where we left off, our friendship and our partnership. It is appropriate that this reading takes place at Brazos Independent Bookstore, a supporter of print culture, of interpersonal connection, in an age rich in artificial intelligence and outsourcing thought. We suffer from poverty of mind, disconnection from the arts, and of course, alienation from our own humanity. And so to cultivate creativity, and this is especially for the students, to cultivate creativity means both creating and sustaining the arts through local allies like Brazos, like Houston Writing Central, and yours truly at Public Poetry. Particularly when the arts, when public media and education, when literature is increasingly treated as expendable by those elected to uphold the common good. But fortunately, this labor of affection is the chosen responsibility of people of conscience and goodwill. And so with that, I want to highlight some of those individuals here this evening, those community partners in solidarity with efforts to preserve the arts, to preserve the humanities. And more information can be found on the table. If you looked at our poster, this is a collaboration, including Brazos, of 7 organizations across the country. In Southern California, there is the Southeast Poetry Sea Collective, connecting Southeast Asian artists and their allies to collaborate and share their stories. More info on the table. Also in Southern California, we have the Vietnamese Creatives Collective, which provides a safe environment for API actors, designers, filmmakers, producers, musicians, etc. And their most notable programs in Cali are the Viet Film Festival and the Viet Book Festival. They were very kind to share our events too. From Houston, we have the Vietnamese Culture and Science Organization. Salutations in lovely turquoise polos there, which focuses on civic engagement and public events celebrating Vietnamese heritage. Their flagship program, the Viet Cultural Fest, is coming up in September. It's September 12th this year, yes? And of course, they have their annual Youth Empowerment Summit and their nonpartisan campaign, Viet Vote Houston. I'm very proud to also mention our partner, the initiative From the Bayou We Speak, a multilingual project accepting poetry and art submission from Houston's ESL students whose heritage languages are Spanish, Vietnamese, and Mandarin. There is the newly formed Vietnamese Artists Collective, Vì Cơm Vì Mắm, VCVM, which is connecting local Vietnamese diasporic artists and creatives. Finally, there is the Houston Youth Literary Magazine, Lotus and Ink. And I see one of the co-founders here, Miss Lianna Chap, who was very kind to sign my copy of her new book. Oh, haha. And I'm very proud of their initiative because they provide Houston's high school age artists with a creative platform to publish. Again, there's more information about all of our partners on the table in the back. And if tonight's reading moves you, please consider supporting them as well as Public Poetry's literary outreach through a one-time or monthly donation of $9, and this will help continue efforts of literary outreach, or simply tag us in your stories and posts this evening. Without further ado, may I present the host of today's reading, Colin Roche.
Thank you, Quang. It is an honor for the third Houston Writing Center open mic since we relaunched, to not only have an organization that I respect so much, but have so many of your lovely faces in front of me tonight. It's a bit hot in here, isn't it? But that just means that we're all here and we're eager and antsy to listen to some poetry. And I'm very honored to be the person who's going to be introducing our two featured readers for tonight from Public Poetry. The first being Chankrisna Tea, who is a trans non-binary Khmer person and multidisciplinary poet and artist whose work has been featured in publications including Glass Mountain, Sibyl, Infaralista Review, Holly of Holies, and commissioned for location for Houston. Alongside the poems, Chan's head is filled with pool sequences and chess calculations. Please help me in welcoming Chan.
Yes. Hi, I'm Chan. Thank you for having me. Thank you for all the organizations that came to partner and make this reading happen. There's a lot of y'all here. This is really cool for me. So I'm gonna read you 3 poems. This first poem is a letter to Frank O'Hara about addiction and fear. Dear Frank, well, first, can everyone hear me? Is this fine? Okay. Dear Frank, everyone tells me the word has no chance of ever living how I want it to live. The word is a wall, and the word is betrayal, because people are castles in the sky, and how could you reach them with your clumsy feet miles away up in your own castle? Or things I hear every day. Even from people that do not speak, I hear this from. I think that's bullshit. Frank, you told me I just have to go on my nerve. But I was always a kid, afraid of things I wanted to say. Where can I find nerve, Frank? Can I dig it up? Is it in my backyard in North Houston? Is it growing? Can I buy it? I have a job now in a sterile pharmacy in North Houston. Is it a pill? Can I abuse it? Frank, I always thought that I just needed to say something like, can I come to your birthday party? Or I miss you, or I can draw Dragon Ball Z characters. Do you want to see? Frank, do you want to see? Frank, I care too much. Frank, there are so many ways to be right. And there's so many more ways to be wrong. Frank, I'm scared I was wrong. I'm scared I am every way to be wrong. Please tell me what to do. The kid who's alone. When I was a kid, the boy I called my best friend invited me to his birthday party just once. August 23rd, 1999, M told me she was going to marry me, and I wrote in my diary she would leave. 5 years later, on April 1st, I told my friends I was moving away, and they shouted, "April Fools!" And I never corrected them. And now, here I am. trying to peek at the center of all this beauty, writing poems on top of water. So this poem is was a commission when I read for my friend Yeri at MFAH, and it's in response to a statue of a Buddhist goddess in like the Buddha room of the Asian Arts exhibit. And so the statue, she's like standing like so. It's like very peaceful. She has a scripture in one hand, and the other hand there's a lotus that's missing. So Yeri walks me through the room with all the Buddhas, and I ask her if she knows how they got there, and she says no. And there you are, with the grace of a standing stone, small smile set upon your face, eyes steadied in a soft shut. You looked so sure. Did you know you would be safe here? Are you? Prajna Paramita, how did you get here in front of me? Ba came here by boat. You must have crossed as well, maybe crowded on a boat, following the one carrying my father. I imagine you are interred here, like Ma once was in a camp before she arrived. Did any of you know what waited on the shore of the next morning? You are our family by law of internment, being encased by the weight of waiting. I waited to find you. I imagine you waited for me as well. Maybe this is mostly true, that we wait to find a thing that sometimes we don't know. I remember when I first found you, Cindy and Randy with me. I left a life behind in San Marcos, scared of the history in my words. I hid in a room until my siblings found me. And we went and went until we found you. Like an overheard word that sounds like our mother, and a grocery store that smells like our kitchen. The finding was enough then. But I felt I was dying. And maybe waiting is the same. You stand before me, scripture in a delicate hold in your right hand. A lotus in your left is lost. I learned lotus live and grow in the flood. They say lotus adapted as such to grow while drowning. And I learn as your left lotus did. You found me the first time like that, dying and looking to find a breath, lost in many floods. And then one day, a lotus floating. Why are you here? Are you lost? Or is it me, your lost lotus? If you weren't on the boat next to my father's, I imagine you standing on deck next to my mother, sent away from home by the one responsible for her suffering. And maybe you left it there for her to pick up, your small flower dropped on your way off so you could offer a lost little girl a hand to hold. Maybe we come here to meet again, to see my smile and yours, my mother's suffering, to offer you back this lotus I am, to tell you this: we are refuge to refugee, not because we are from the same boat, but because we simply are this boat, vessel carrying the same thing, together waiting in the waves, carrying ourselves back home, or already there. Okay. So this next one goes out to my friend Maha, who's graduating right now and then leaving me forever. And it's about this little daydream that so many little Khmer kids had of Angelina Jolie being our mom. And so it's called Self-Portrait with Angelina Jolie as my mother. In the daydream, I am in a white-walled bathroom, watching my body in a mirror room length as she towel dries me, like wiping sweat from an egg. The cilia dust away particles of water from the forehead shell. Polishing pores, she unscrubs what is excess. But still, some surprising runaway drops she lets puddle instead. Around the toes, a wetness finally not uncomfortable to step in. Her touch never cracks, unbreaking me even, and I dry unscarred. It is sweet and warm, and almost how Mott would have dried my body. But she is not there. So her voice soft, then swiftly sharp, is not there. There is no yelling when my soles leave puddles touching tile and not rug, when I leave the towel slung over the hamper and not inside. There are no tears where Mott would cut the ducts open. There is no brain that handles discomfort like a wound. There are no camps where she starved, and no eyes that nearly went blind, no escape to France, no scraps stolen from relatives' restaurant tables. There is no marriage to take her to America. There is no family in law to steal her labor. There is no husband to ignore her. There is no loneliness in her home. There is no silence when there should not be. There is no Ma, which I dreamt often as a young Khmer kid. And there is no Chan, then. Mother collected as rain in the puddles my little soul leaves in each step. Of course, I never actually wanted Angelina Jolie as my mom. No. I just didn't want you as my mother. No. I just didn't want it to hurt. No. I just don't want to be only hurt. Yes. To be this foundling, I dreamt of me leaving out of myself. And I wonder now why hurt bubbles to surface first in the puddle of me remembering who I would not be without you. What other staying stain does not wipe away? If there is no Ma, there is no Chan, then. There is no come eat late nights insomniac plea from her belly pit heart. No strawberry blossoms green as youth. No planted joy. No sugared coffee for our drives into the city. No jasmine braids. No jasmine crown smelt on sister head. No papaya to open orange from the corner tree. No thick guava tree, no bites bruising gum, no snake in root dirt, no home movies, no record of waiting in pools, no water gun, water hose fight against Matye, no smile flashing undentured thrill, no home running to brother while bus left, no first memory of soda Sprite can opening, no wait watching my first eclipse that overnight, no Cali treks to family, no crossword search calling from down the hall. No translation ask, no this means like that means teaching, no question curious and answered, no eggshells to roll off, no egg stew brown, no rice noodle separating for stir fry, no oiled fingers late night grabbing noodle, no home taste to take to bed, no insomnia to mirror, no parallel unsleep we filled with what could unferry death from us, no time between times spent apart from the day's hurt, no learning your hurt learning. And like woken from a dream, I only want return to escape feeling like I have lost something with and without you. Maha tells me I never lost a thing. In fact, it was only ever a story about the dream I read. Lost interpretation. I'm trying to understand. I want to give up the child's dream, or give in and forgive myself for leaving a leak of wet footprints following me all over. Thank you.
Thank you so much, John. That was very, very lovely, and is an important reminder of how our literature is always in conversation with something, and the process of sharing that and writing it is also a process of revealing that truth to not only ourselves but to others. Although after that last poem, I think it may be poor timing to say happy belated Mother's Day. Our next feature reader is going to be Alinda Adam Mack, who is a Vietnamese writer, performer, and teaching artist from Houston, Texas. Her work is inspired by Southeast Asian culture, myths, and monsters, as well as her life as a Vietnamese person living in the American South. She is the head coach and an alumni of the award-winning Metaphor Houston Youth Poetry Fellowship, hosted by Writers in the Schools. Adam is a graduate of the School of the Art Institute of Chicago. You can find her work in SAIC's Mouth Magazine, Wayward's Literary Magazine, on Houston Public Media, and in person on stages across her home city. Please help me in welcoming Adam.
My skirt's kind of loose. If it falls, ignore it. Like, please turn around for my dignity. What's up, y'all? My name is Adam Mack. Thank you so much for the introduction. I am frazzled. I've had a long and egregious day, so hopefully you can't tell from the way that my voice is a little quaky. I am, just before I get started, wanted to introduce myself as the head coach of Metaphor Houston, the city's youth slam poetry team. My young people are here today and will also be on the open mic. So when you see these babies go up, please cheer, because I'm gonna sound crazy if it's just me in the audience. But yeah, thank you so much also to Public Poetry and Đức Quang for inviting me out, inviting Chan out. This is the second reading I've done now with Chan. And it is amazing to continue stewarding these spaces where Asian American folks from across the Houston area can share their stories, right? Y'all don't mind if I make it depressing? Because I will. Shout out that. Maybe so. Generational assimilation questionnaire. Stop writing about the mangoes. Instead, tell me about the soil that grew them. Tell me about the hands, tanned, skin pulled taut over mythic bone that once carefully tucked seeds into the ground. Tell me about the calluses they carry. About the palms weathered by tree bark as they hauled your father's body up to the banana leaves. Tell me about your father. You always write about your father, as if you could fill the gap between y'all with words. You know you both have enough words left unsaid to do that. Tell me what you want to say. Is it, I know you? Is it, I love you? Is it, I remember everything you've ever said about the sand, the soil, the sun you once knew? Father, tell me about your hands. Yours could not be more different than his. The only grandma you've ever had chides you for the softness of your flesh. You've never done a day's work in your life, and thank God, she says. Tell me about gods. You know two kinds. The ones in your house and the ones outside. Tell me about temple. About silence, about the fog of incense. Tell me about your mother, crying at the altar for a better year. Ain't no fruit here but the ones offered to deities that don't answer. Your father says whatever you beg for, you must sow yourself. So tell me about mending. Bonds, hearts, wounds. This house, this family, this bloodline is gaping with wounds and calloused hands, working to take care of it all. Tell me about blood, or the water of the womb. Your grandma says y'all are coastal people, even if you lack all the skills to be one. Don't know a thing about swimming or fishing or climbing a tree. Remember the tree bark? Of course you don't, baby. Look at your hands. Never worked to pick a fruit in your life, but thank God. Tell me about school. Tell me what they teaching you in there. Tell me about your palms, so used to cradling a pen. You always write about your father. You never write about God or your country. Tell me about your country. Draw your country on a map. Y'all are coastal people, remember that. The sand, the soil, the sun, remember that. Even if you've never been, never known, you've dreamt about it, haven't you? Tell me about dreams, which could be confused for memory. Tell me about a world that is and isn't you. It's in your blood, you know. The seed, carefully tucked into the ground. Tell me what you want to say. Tell me the right way if you can. In your family's tongue. Emung noyi. Noidi. Noicha bangye. Noicha magye. Your language exists in singularities, in isolation. One syllable per word. One person per word. One God, one country, one hand. Tell me about the words you've lost. About the ones you have left. Tell me what you have left after the rest has been taken. Sand, soil, sun, seed, pen, school, hands, dream, blood, wound, fruit, tree. Tell me. Once now seizes what remains of before from you. Who will you be? You're in second grade. In the car, your ponytail is too tight. Your socks feel too much like socks. Ma was sleeping on the stairs again, too tired to make it to the top, and so you have to bear with it. You buckle and unbuckle your book bag. It's purple, which is an acceptable form of pink. Girls in your family like pink. You're trying to be good at being a girl. In the music room, Miss People soaks the recorders in something pink. She says it keeps them clean from little kid mouths. You run yours all day, so God knows what's getting into it. You try to remember the position for a C sharp. You don't really know what a C sharp is, but you know, I got spurs that jingle, jingle, jingle. Like the quarters in your pocket, the ones you stole from Ma. Gel pens at the vending machine are $1. You know 4 quarters equal $1. You know Ma holds on to the dollars when your aunts give you money. I'll keep it safe for you, Gong. But every day she comes home and says, we don't have money. We don't have money. We don't have money. You haven't had breakfast. You don't eat breakfast. Vietnamese people don't eat breakfast. That's what Ma says. And it must be true because she don't eat it either. You had breakfast pizza from the cafeteria once. How many dollars for a pizza? On Fridays, Ms. Roth counts everyone's tickets. 100 tickets means a pizza party. You don't really like parties. You don't like when it's loud. But people say you're loud. Miss People says all you know how to do is run your mouth. But you feel like it's been a long time since you spoke. The car is silent. The car is for quiet time. Ma doesn't play the radio, but you can watch TV when it isn't Dad's turn. When it's Dad's turn, you hide in the closet. The news is C sharp. Too bright, too blue. Dad says Mitt Romney don't like blue, but you do. Just don't tell nobody. Blue is for boys. And you? Red, white, and blue. The monkey kiss you. Alex C taught you that. Alex C kind of annoying, but she helped you walk to the nurse when you blacked out on the track. Miss Bush says you're dramatic. Nurse K says, stop calling it blacking out. It's called fainting. You fainted because you're not eating breakfast. You need breakfast. But Ma said, that's too many dollars. And không có tiền. And hết tiền rồi. You don't like when Ma cries. In the car, Ma jerks the wheel too fast. Says, I've had enough. You're making me do this. All this money, all this needing, all this talking. But I wasn't talking. The car is for quiet time. I was counting the quarters, the ones I stole from Ma, and it was raining. I forgot it was raining. And the road, my God, the road, I forgot about God. And the seatbelt, searing flink pink against my neck. It was second grade. Ma says, we don't have money because you are not a good girl. How could I forget? How could I forget? Ma jerks the wheel too fast, and I count. The road, the rain, the blue, the glass, the sky. Y'all depressed? Yeah. It's okay. It's gonna get lighter, sort of. This is my last one, okay? Enjoy it. What I said to the aliens. Believe it or not, I don't want the world to end. And by end, I mean please. Don't use your giant star laser to zap my planet out of existence. I know. This shit looks dire. I know. Humans are indefensible in the face of what we have done to each other. But listen, once, when my dad's truck fell into a ditch, 2 construction workers stopped to give us a ride home. Once, during a hurricane, the boys who loud-ass ATVs annoy the shit out of my parents rescued my mother from a flooding road. Once, on the way to work, some dude parked in a one-way to catch a stray dog, and none of us honked despite the trouble because we all wanted it to live. I want my planet to live. The soil is still good here, still powerful enough to change the future if only we make room for things to grow. And after all, how can I stand by and let you blow up the 36 bus, where I once saw 2 women reunite after years of not meeting? How can you erase the ocean of their laughter, their palms cupping each other's faces like water, or the basketball slipping out of my hands in 7th grade PE because I did it and I still don't get how to dribble? Yes, I want to protect even the embarrassing things, like the way I looked a fool dancing at my best friend's wedding, or the first time I kissed a boy and realized I'm worse than the people who can't concentrate without Subway Surfers on. Keep the game on. Don't kill us all before I can understand it. The joy of losing your breath chasing a ball or your homie back and forth in a dew-drenched field. Don't take the fields, where the longhorns graze and the wildflowers bloom so vibrantly. On the way to Dallas, I nearly crashed my car, which I need to see my sister. The one who steals my clothes and shoes as they learn to be themselves. I want people to have the chance to be themselves, to apologize, to grieve, to know that fear growing in your gut like a wound can be soothed by the balm of laughter, because shit finds a way to be funny even when I'm afraid. And I admit, I am afraid of how quickly children learn to hide before they can even spell their names, or how readily men will go to war for a country that does not love them for every reason we've given you to aim the laser beam. I pray you still your hand. There's still time to see the children who are learning what it means to dream at no cost. Still time to pet the cats even if you are allergic. Still time to eat the empanadas, the pozole, the country fried steak, the boontang. Still time to gossip in line for the club, to shake ass and celebrate what love still persists. Once, I promised this world was worth saving, and it still is. And so, would you let us do it ourselves? Would you let us build and rebuild the planet as earnestly as we need it to be? Thank you.
I didn't miss up any mic over here, did I? Okay, good. Thank you so much, Adam. That was absolutely lovely. And thank you to Chan as well, both our future readers here tonight. It has been an absolute honor to hear your work for, I believe, the first time in my personal experience. And every single time that I host a reading or that I go to one, I'm reminded that Houston is a city full of poets who have a lot to say and are very loud about it, which I really appreciate. Although I will add, I've been doing this for quite a while now, and if you come to a poetry reading, you are most definitely preparing in some aspect to be depressed. But I have a fun tidbit of information to share with y'all. When Quang sent me the bios for everybody, he let me know that he has actually never read in public before. So I wanted to take this opportunity to invite him up to share some of his work with us. I promise it's not putting him on the spot. I did clear this with him beforehand. But your public poetry executive director is a bilingual Vietnamese American artist and executive director of the Houston nonprofit Public Poetry, supporting established and emerging poets in the literary community. A music contributor to the Vietnamese Alliance of Cultural Artists, his works have appeared on Diacritics and elsewhere, as well as commissioned for the 2025 exhibition Space for Us, Afrofuturism, and the Poetic Imagination, and the upcoming July 2026 Museum of Fine Arts Houston exhibition, Hugh Locke Passages. Please help me in welcoming Quang.
Look underdressed.
Well, what can I say? I went to the wrong event. This reminds me of when I went to another event and I attracted so many mosquitoes and had to turn them away because the validation was too much. So thank you, Caelan. Caelan understands me in the sense that we're both hosts and we spend our times promoting others and rarely read our own work. So thank you for your invitation. Um, Adam reminded me of something, and it's a very dear topic to my heart. And since it's AAPI month, before I read maybe two short pieces, I will mention that. And that is the necessity, the importance of often returning to our heritage language, which is universally applicable, not just AAPI. There's a famous Vietnamese song that goes, I have loved the language of my homeland since birth, a kind mother's lullaby, the eternal lullaby. And as many of you, I have stumbled and mispronounced or misplaced a tone, and but I cannot afford to lose that lullaby that I've heard since my birth, because my mother's voice was the first poetry I heard. Last Sunday, two friends who are here, very gracious of them, Brandon and Helen, recommend I read a document called On Love for the Poor. In a passage about those who are socially marginalized and deprived of dignity, the text also mentioned cultural poverty. And I reason this is the quiet rootlessness and fragmented memory of those who, for whatever reason, have had to or have misplaced their culture. On paper, many immigrant communities represented here, including Asian American groups, are visibly affluent, as well as educationally and economically successful, but nevertheless there's a loosening of cultural and linguistic ties, a sense of rootlessness, and returning to that figurative home and finding yourself a stranger. And so I share this with anyone struggling or struggling in their heritage language, and that is to cling to every vowel and syllable and sound, because it is our inheritance and our cultural memory. And if you sound like a 6-year-old speaking, be a cute 6-year-old when you're when you're trying to speak Vietnamese or Khmer, Mandarin. You're great, darling. Or Spanish or whatever that may be. Speak slowly, speak imperfectly, but speak your respective language into life, however imperfect. And that's just my thought. With that, I'll recite a short Vietnamese poem that I wrote, interspersed with the English translation. I wrote this 3-part poem sitting at a jazz club while on a summer trip in New Orleans after meeting someone at U of H Boldface conference and not knowing if we'll ever see each other again. I know I'm so dramatic. And it's called Yo Sun Blue Hour. For those of you of Vietnamese, it's not Yo Sun medicated ointment, okay? It's Yo Sun, okay? And while I was listening to that jazz performance, my emotions rushed out, but my English words could not contain them, so I had to return to my native Vietnamese. And at the time, I was reading a Buddhist text, the Heart Sutra. So this is a very jazzy poem with Buddhist imagery written by a Catholic. And I was very fortunate because the original and the English translation was published on Dear Critics. And I have a copy back there for all of you. It's my gift to you if you want it. And so this is my first Vietnamese poem. And the first time I'm reciting it in public in my terrible Saigonese accent. So Giờ xanh 1. Hôm nay về khách sạn trong thành phố là một mình. Ôi lòng tình sắc bén hơn lòng chiều, và tuổi anh biết tìm ai. Tiếng kèn đồng vỡ bờ đường bượt bon xả hồn anh ra đường kênh. Em không xa mà xa như hương đất ngoại. Blue Hour 1. Today, returning to a hotel in a strange city alone. Oh, heart more iron sharp than evening's core, and who can I find in this age? Trumpet sounds rupture the Bourbon shores, discharge my spirit onto Canal Street. you not distant, yet further than scent of maternal lands. Hai, em từ bi trao đổi tình anh, chờ người em như đêm cát trắng. Anh yêu Hạ vì em ra nước Việt, hai ta về ngủ trong lòng mã non. Biết một mai trời xanh, em ngước mắt nhìn anh, và mưa trải anh trên đầu sông, trùm phủ 10 phương màu hối tiếc. Two, you mercifully exchanged my love, waiting for you like white sand nights. I love summer for your Vietnamese skin. We return to sleep in sapling rice. Know that one blue sky day you will look on me, and the rain will spread me over the river's head, cover 10 directions, the color of regret. Ba, biết em về với người mà lòng còn mong, trăng nửa sáng nắng đường vô sắc vô thọ, bộ nông trắng hướng ra biển cả. Trời không mây anh gọi em giông bão, phòng tinh sương tim nhịp đập đơn côi. Xin em đêm dài như năm tháng, và những đêm nữa 2 lần ly cách từ vòng tay. Three, knowing you return to another yet I long, half like moon shape the road, no form, no desire. White pelicans head towards the sea, cloudless skies, I call you thunderstorms, the room at dawn a solitary heartbeats. I ask for nights longer than the months, and many more nights to twice displace you from my arms. Why don't I, earlier Adam said, we're poets are so guilty. I remember my first public poetry reading I did, I hosted. I will forever remember it. We got on the call, everyone was so happy and bubbly and laughing and joyous. And then when the reading began, everyone's face, myself included, became somber. And the first poet said, he was smiling and laughing and joking. When the reading started, he said, I will now read my first poem. It's called Depression. So I don't want to leave you on that note. About 4 years ago, my friend Natalie, hi Natalie, told me, you know, you write about Montrose and Rice and downtown, but you never write about the SWAT, A-Leaf, where we grew up. And I thought, oh, that's right, I never did. And so I decided, you know what, I'm going to take some memories and compilations of observations, experience, whatever, and write a poem, and a very fun poem, and then I'll turn it over. It's called I Carry You Through Chinatown. I carry you through Chinatown on Lunar New Year's Eve. Softly the karaoke bars die as hostess girls fly to their nests, and soju buddies stumble in a line back to their sports cars, exhausted red and blue. But I carry you, a K-pop song, sweet, not loud or long. We sit outside Morai Cafe, eating breeze chalk beignets. Last shared tea run, the barista asked, hey, what do you want? And playfully, I gave your name, my you, my only you. And though we should be at temple picking flower buds or praying inside a church, we're cruising through the southwest streets more lit than fireworks. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kwang. Your work reflects a quality about you that I admire a lot, is your obsession with connection of people, connection of community, connection of environment, and the experiences that we can all share. I think it's something that reflects very well in public poetry. So please give it up one more time for everybody that read tonight from public poetry, y'all. Although I have to add that I feel called out because every time that I get up here and read, I sound like a 6-year-old. And on that note, although y'all won't sound like 6-year-olds, we're going to transition into our open mic section. Now, There's about 19 people in here right now, so I'm going to ask that nobody take longer than about 3 minutes during their reading. And if anybody would like to add their name to the pile, if there is time at the end of the night, I will do a last call. It's just that Brazos does close around 8 p.m. and I want to make sure that we don't overstay. So I'm excited to hear from all of you, though. The first person will be... And before we begin, I just like to say I will be sitting behind you, and if you hear my stomach growling, please don't say anything. The first person will be Lianna.
Hi, I'm Lianna Chap, and thank you, Quan, again for the introduction of Lotus and Ink and my poetry chapbook. It's self-published, so it's on Amazon, and I'm just gonna be reading a tiny piece. It is called Dear Home of the Jellyfish. Take me back to my childhood, where the sunlight reflected on my waking eyes. Take me back to simpler times, where I could find conch shells with my mama's voice, and my look-my still brushed my tendrils delicately in between her wrinkled fingers. I missed the ocean waves and how they rocked me to sleep. Back then, I never worried about sharks or the other monsters lurking in the sea. In her arms, my grandma sang me a lullaby, so soothing I sang it to myself in my insomniac nights. My mama used to spoon-feed me reality, but one day I ended up in the jaws of a shark, and there was no one to save me as he bit into my delicate tendrils. When did my girlhood drown in the ocean, and I became just another jellyfish searching for home? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lianna. I find it so cool at a poetry reading whenever somebody comes up and introduces a selection from their own collection of work, whether that be a chapbook, a novel, a poetry collection. It's happened a few times, and I find it to be reflective of how much literary talent is in this city. So thank you for sharing from your chapbook. There was a raffle that was handed out and started before the reading began, excuse me. And Guan did ask me to raffle off these items before we continue. So I don't know exactly where that is. Guan, where's the raffle stuff?
While you're doing that, can you sign someone up for the opening?
So we have
Of
two
course.
items. We have the anthology, Colin,
Yes. you should.
and the bag. And I will let you draw, so that way I don't take the money.
So, and before I do that, somebody said they wanted to sign up for the open mic.
Yeah.
Here.
Sure. Last call. Anyone else who's going?
Here you go. Thank you. And there's some utensils right here. Thank you so much. Excited to hear from you.
And the anthology proposal.
Who doesn't love free stuff?
You want to offer me my hamburger, but and dexterity.
You want another one?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah. All this works.
Okay. Okay, is that everybody who wants to sign up to read? Okay, perfect. Then I'm going to raffle off the collection first. I'm holding it up. I thought I was holding it upside down. Please excuse me. That one is going to go to... Perfect, let me do it again.
Oh, I thought so. That's what I thought. Okay.
No, you should have your half, and when I call it out, and if it's your number, everything should be good to go.
First item, the
I'm done.
anthology.
Let's practice. Who has 3, 5, 1, 2, 4, 5? Oh my gosh, Lianna! Congratulations! Who doesn't love free stuff? Speaking of which, we got this tote bag, which is going to go to this one. Last 3, 2, 3, 3. Oh my gosh! Well, that one off without a hitch. So So let's do you. Our next reader will be Mohan.
Hi, my name is Mohan Ambikaipaker. I teach anthropology and poetry at the University of Houston. I have my students from the Global Politics and Poetry class here who are also going to be reading. So I thought I better pony up and read a couple of my own, to share the moment of celebrating the end of the semester with them. I'm Malaysian American, and May is a difficult month for Malaysians because on May 13, 1969, there was a historical event that shook up the country that led to a lot of people leaving, mainly ethnic minorities of South Asian and Chinese descent, but also in time, a lot of people. So over 1 million Malaysians out of 30 million have sort of left the country and continue to do so. So this poem is called May 13 Ghazal. Length and breadth, land and country, the patriarchs have sent word. No one must marry the moon and earth on May 13th. In a packed lorry burning rubber, a boy without slippers will arrive undead at Stadium Chin Woo on May 13th. Along a smoke-filled 5-foot way, an auntie who skips on her left foot will be sent to heaven by a symphony of machetes on May 13th. When kerosene is poured, a man caught watching Hindi movies will be asked once and for all which race he is on May 13th. In a crimson back alley, a man pleads, "I am not guilty, I'm not guilty," and deaf clouds will dispatch a rain of iron pipes on May 13th. On birthdays, the sons of patriarchs will preach, "Do not forget, the moon and earth did not marry on May 13th. And this one similarly is on race and violence. And this is in commemoration of the 16th Street Baptist Church bombing in 1963 in Birmingham, and also the ongoing genocide in Gaza. Human animals. We are fighting human animals, says the Israeli defense minister. And the white American woman who brings her dachshunds to the playscape points her fingers at her dogs and say, "They usually play here." My children do not see her marble glare and smile, but she wants us gone. There's a bronze and steel sculpture in Birmingham, Alabama, of the four spirits: Addie Mae Collin, Denise McNair, Cynthia Wesley, Carol Robertson. We're all playing in a basement, waiting for church services to begin, when some white folks bombed them to heaven and murdered 2 boys the same Sunday in 1963, Virgil Ware, Johnny Robinson. In 2024, Rashida Tlaib entered the names of 710 Palestinian babies under the age of 1 into the congressional record. But the white male professor who crafts Midwestern landscape poetry scolds me for using the word savage to describe slaughter in Gaza. The real problem, he says, is that both sides see themselves as victims. Maybe the confusion, my butcher says, is that some kill animals humanely while others kill children like animals.
Thank you so much, Mohan. Great way to lead by example for your students. I'm excited to hear some of y'all read. If you are a student, congratulations on the end of the semester. I'm not sure if we have any graduates here tonight, but if you are, congratulations on graduating. I graduated in 2023, and with each year that passes, I feel the depressing sense of getting older. Next is going to be Andy.
Hello, everyone. My name is Andy. I am a math teacher at Springwoods High School who does poetry for fun. And this past week was Teacher Appreciation Month. So for those of y'all who are educators here, happy Teacher Appreciation. All right, so this poem is called The Trauma She Carries. I wrote this about my own mother. Home. His mother wants to find it someday. When she first fled home, she abandoned herself, leaving behind her old life of grinded coffee beans, notebooks, threads and needles, memories of her family, stillness and peacefulness, to the grief and the rubble of a war-ravaged country covered in landmines filled to the floor with metal fragments, acidic scents from burnt iron, and the ash of destroyed buildings. Her family boarded boats and planes, hoping the currents of life would bring them towards life, liberty, and the pursuit of prosperity. She starts over in a new country with nothing but only $20 in her pockets in hopes of finding a new home. She builds her life, her new life, thanking God for every second chance, hoping that one day she can build her new home. She marries her within her culture, buys a house, and raises her only son. She goes to church every Sunday, and Father Perfect gives her the homily, providing a guideline to follow, some scripture in her pursuit of prosperity. But Father Perfect also preaches at the funeral of her son's self-expression, eulogizing what he should be doing with his life, what his life could look like, and how all of this would have brought their family prosperity. She puts all of her chips in her son's life, going all in, hoping that one day he could help her come home. But she is like that boat on the ocean, and if she let go of that perfectionism and that need to control different aspects of her son's life, maybe the currents will take her across the changing tides of life towards true happiness, helping her find her way back home. Thank you.
That walk-up was so awkward for me. I cannot imagine how y'all feel. But thank you. But thank you, Andy. Next up is Rebecca.
Hi, y'all. I want to congratulate the students who have finished the semester. And I want to congratulate the teachers who have finished the semester. I'm just going to read a real short one. Well, okay, maybe not real short. I'll read one. In Defense of Empty Nest. Let me just say, so this poem is about another poem that I wrote about giving a child up for adoption. And so this poem is about writing that poem, or why I wrote that poem. In Defense of Empty Nest. When he suggested I should examine why I wanted to write a poem about giving you up for adoption, I sat still in the front row and quietly nodded my head. Never explained that for 35 years I had imagined myself Demeter trading my daughter to the underworld for amber apricots and blue-black cherries, for stalks of purple chase tree flowers, for beetles and butterflies bursting from emerald corpses, for fields of ripened grain, for the chance to heal, for your unsullied future. I didn't say that in the dearth of soiled diapers, in the absence of fevers and night terrors, in the dearth of tantrums and that begin with sobs and continue with the relentless cries of mommy, mommy, mommy. I hadn't imagined my bounty of hours and days as if they'd been stolen in a scorpion's pincers from your newborn wandering eyes, toddler's dare from your teenage black nails. As if I could forget you. As if women don't know the stories of children forsaken by surrogate mothers in black forests. as if we who forfeit or abandon our babies haven't found ourselves cleaving to remorse like captains foundering in vessels. As if there's not a fellowship of mourners I'll never meet. How we are feared or resented or forgotten. How there are no associations for parents who forfeit their children. As if I'm not grateful for the mother who took her in. As if motherhood of any kind isn't a minefield. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, Rebecca. My Happy Mother's Day bit is aging poorer, and I did not expect that to happen. But again, Happy Mother's Day to anyone who is a mother or who has a motherly figure in their life. Thank you for sharing. Next is James. James Church.
Hi. We are a balled fist with the sun dripping from our knuckles. We swing at strangers and call them the sky. Their faces are a bundle of clouds every morning. Maybe this is why my mother never took comfort in daylight. I've seen hearts run away, leave us notes saying, don't give things away so easily, but we're stuck between holy water and the switchblade because God is a rock and a hard place. Love is where God can be found in a woodshed. Sacrifice is a box of nails. Pastors hammer Christ in our temples and call it communication when he died. You think it was only for the privileged? Because they don't pay attention unless the camera is aimed in the right direction. Derek Gaines was a 15-year-old bald fist. He spoke with the clip loaded in his throat and shot his mouth off more often than his teachers would like. He found comfort in question marks. He'd collect them and hand them out to police officers. One night, an officer shot moonlight through Derek's chest for loading his phone too quickly. He woke up in a woodshed with a mouthful of nails. Derek swallowed them whole and called it communion. At his eulogy, the priest said that God also knows great sacrifice, but God never sacrificed his son. He just brought him home. Thank you.
Thank you, James. I find it so impressive that you came up here and read off the hill. You must have practiced that a lot.
Yeah.
Next up is, I hope I pronounce this correctly, Akel?
Hello. I'm very glad I get to go after such incredible people. I think because mine are short, I'll be able to get through two. The first one, it's the same ones from class. I'm sorry. The birthplace of the nation. Skin, a cry, stone, a chisel. Emergence is violence. Life is tobacco smoke, whistling, whipping past the pale statues on a hope-void plot, a breathy screech from nature and natural taker. Weeds crawl up facades. Growth traces features carved into vision in Virginia's President Park. Heads bought in a prayer to tear down. The arc that points to crumbling fate is in God we trust, that busts sink downwards into fertility. One day their minds will be muffled by the color of soil. Atlantic compasses standing moral still, ascribes weeds, and Cain's saccharine sweet. My soothed tongue leads to an open throat, fills grains of rice, life indigo deep. American burnweed, this one, born to a plot called Virginia, has cigar-shaped leaves, one of many pioneer species. They thrive in disturbed lands, invasively alive. That's one. And then two, caregiver, who is deserving to you? Knees leveraging against porcelain, curved shoulders, skin at dew point. Warm water and breath of two people better off dead. The handbook reprimands, always have your lanyard on. Our names are known to each little spider of home. Sketchbook sheets sprawled on a carpeted floor, a splayed body peering down, a paper curving away from wheel-trampled fibers, serving to list places worth visiting in this city. A tangled set of limbs gazing up at ripple's threatening embrace summons the words, "Let's eat together." Elbows bracing the inside curve of a tub, out-of-line digits controlling a waterfall of strands, begging biceps to not let go of the weight, lest another body lands under Houston blue. The handbook insists, this is not personal. Your family knows my name, recites the assortment of lines. The pair of fighting hearts think about the hours the insurance will bother to pay after audit. I strain to leave the company of people better off gone. I want to know sunrise through my house, but my joints are tied to knots of your hair. They tug to the decision to stay. This has always been my dream anyway. Generic brand anti-dandruff shampoo wedges in the crevices of hands. The stains make streams of humanity. Those blues turn off the faucet and keep these bayous. There's a Y-shaped incision on my chest, covered in fungus, expanded in each barest moment. Selflessness undoes the layers of dirty skin. We are both set to die. I'm begging for you to finish borrowing all of my time.
Thank you so much, Akel. Did I pronounce that correctly? Okay, awesome. But I wish that the stuff that I wrote in school was that good because let's not even get into it. Next up is MPL.
Hey everyone, this is Nyla, aka NPL. Similar to Akel, this is something I wrote and shared with my metaphor team. Hi guys. I'm just testing it out again to see if I would want to keep writing it. So I titled this one Seesaw. It's about seasons. Everything that blooms in spring dies in winter because spring can only bloom over what was dead to begin with. I was born in spring to a dying world, and by winter I'm ready to die with it. But then in spring everything feels like it's growing, so I'm thrown into the loop again. In spring it feels like a reset. Not in a rejuvenating sense, but in the way that everything feels like it's starting from square one when you've hit 100. Where all the work from the past years of rug swept beneath you to leave you stranded. At the same time, it's like waking up for a new day. The sun returns and you eat pancakes and you see the trees through the window and you think that every new seed will sprout something greater than the last. That out there's a sunflower with a strong stem that bends and weaves toward that sweet light getting closer each day. And then the night comes and you're ready to start again. These feelings can't coexist, such a hopelessness, such a hopefulness. These feelings can't coexist without spring. The winter feels like a shower. Not in a cleansing way, but in a pounding way, where the reminders of all your faults sting and run down your skin like a verdict. The water is cold and so is the world. You can't stop running. It can't stop running. But it also feels like closing a book. It was a horrible story with twists that don't turn, but it's over. And the wind that follows the shut of the plastic cover feels cold, freezing even, but when you're frozen inside too, it's sort of comforting. Because it's the one place where you can commiserate with the world. Feeling that death and decaying is fine because before you know it, you'll be facing the rising sun again. Winter is final through and through. Maybe that's a relief to me. Maybe that's ruthless to me, but that's my final thought.
Thank you so much, MPL. That was an effective metaphor, and I love hearing your final thoughts. As a reminder, we are currently at 7:25, and I spoke with the Brazos Bookstore staff, and I do have to cut it off at 8. So if you don't get the chance to read today, I am sorry in advance, but I'm going to try to get through as many people as I can. Next being Diane.
Hi, everyone. I am a student at U of H, and since Dr. Mohan was also here earlier, I am his student. So give me some grace. I am new to writing poetry. And so I got, wait, can I detach this? Oh my gosh, really? Oh, this is so much easier. Okay, so I got two poems for you guys. And one of them I will start off with as Red. It's titled Red, and this is how I deal with anger. Red. Flowers wither when I water them. Full of red is what I see. My palms damp and sticky, my limbs tremor, trying to stay together. I am drowning in air. Red is the only color I see. I hate it. It stained my loved ones, wilt my flowers. It will always be there, and for it to stop is to bag it until it eats from inside out. Period. So next is called Heartbroken Humanity, and this is about my feelings about Gaza and how I apply it in my daily life of mindset. When I think of Palestine, I don't think of watermelons like those trending emojis. My brain shows me a picture of my mother buried under the rubble and my father separated into pieces. But I wake up still seeing them on the dinner table, sharing freshly cooked meals. How come on the other side of the same floating rock, my hopes for children in Gaza will have the same fate as I do? How ironic that we all live in this planet, and yet how the shape humanity is away from intact. Thank you. Oh, sorry. I just want to add more context to this before, I'm sorry, I'm just trying to keep this short. This is all I've written in a week, and I revised it, so yeah. Okay. Anyway, everyone has a good night.
Thank you so much, Diane. I am going to start ending my readings with period. That's next level. Next up is Colin.
This is from a current manuscript for my thesis. I'm a MFA candidate and also teacher by day. So if you're a student or teacher, hope you had an awesome week. This is fairly fresh. Oh no, not this one. Sorry. A myth I pulled out of her throat. I pulled a body from your mouth, my own, so it appeared like the German word for dream, like a song, red wire or fiber that mapped my way into what could have been a forest without songbirds, your body. How I ended up there, I don't know. Yet I could have sworn I heard you in the black, that muck of what is our life, and you know you were half bull, mostly shit. What a fucking quagmire, I thought, your life. A labyrinth unlike the pills I wanted to swallow, their bodies so clean and devout to clarity. I don't want to lose myself in the dry translation that is your tongue. How I nearly thought the monster here in the dark was really you. After all, in all that black wool, that red song, those eternal nights of you drunk, the constant jab until the pierce of a sword. Mother, I miss our youth before such tragedy. When you didn't cast a shadow. When you left me at school in pre-kindergarten, a plate of scrambled eggs crowned with foil, steam rising from the food as I lifted it up. The catsup read like a song. A cold winter morning at age 4. When you said it would soon be time to pick up from the playground, before I would realize it was just a myth I pulled out of your throat. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Colin. I hope I have your permission to steal a line. I'm going to change my Instagram bio to half bull, mostly shit after this. Next up is Sandra.
One thing I love about poetry is that it can help preserve culture and can also help cross cultures, which is true of language in general and is my hope for Houston and our world. Read one poem, it's called To Learn a Language. How many people have learned or are learning a second language or a third or a fourth? Yeah. To learn a language. Leave your shoes at the door. Inside, you may find the air thin or dense as is fit for unfamiliar life. The beat may ring staccato or effortless legato. Don't rule either unbecoming. It is you who must accommodate to hear their charm, to discern if a nod means yes or no, to learn how high to hold your hands, how near or far to stand, to kiss one cheek or both or none, to pray in familiar or formal address. And when you do, on returning to the threshold, you may find your own shoes strange.
Thank you so much, Sandra. I like how many of y'all are taking the mic out. Y'all are really working the stage here. Next up is German.
Okay, hi, my name is German Ramirez Torres. I'm a member of the Metaphor Houston Slam Poetry Team, and I'm going to be reading my piece entitled Honorable after Notes After the Storm by my coach Adam Mack. 1. In Mayan myth, Itzmana, or Itza, is the principal god who created the Maya. He decided to stay with his creations despite all the chaos they made on Earth. He then left them with one last gift, the ability to write. 2. My papa has always cared for the spoken word, from 3-hour church services to making me read Bible verses out loud. Sometimes, I see my father as a creation from Itza itself. 3. The first time I began to speak in poetry was the first time I mixed English and Spanish together. There is power in knowing that you've messed up on speaking 2 colonial languages, yet not giving a shit. There is power in knowing the objective rules of poetry according to the best of the best, yet not giving them shit. As writers, we know that before we make art for others, we make art for us. 4. Itzmana gave the Maya hieroglyphs so they could paint the most jaw-dropping stories. Sensible or not, it was an art worth protecting. My father exposed me to multiple sermons and preachers because whether I liked it or not, he knew it'd teach me how to use my words for prowess and power. 5. My relationship with my mom makes me realize how little my papa gets mentioned in my poetry. However, his impact is engraved into my vocal cords the moment I began reading poetry out loud at 14. Before there was an alphabet, there was paintings, but before there was anything to draw, it was our voices to make sense of the world around us. 6. When my papa was an orphan, the first time he realized the power that the gods hold is when he screamed outside, "May God strike me down since I've lived through everything." The lightning that night barely missed him. Sometimes, I wonder if the shock wave transferred into his body. 7. The first time my papa saw me perform, he knew he left an impact. There was a purpose in him teaching me how to scream into mics at the right time, and although his voice is visceral and fast, he taught me how to carry my voice with a purpose and how to strike at the right time. 8. Now, when I write new poems, I know that my pen moves like thunder striking down the land that is my paper. Itza and Papa are the same, and that they knew writing is the people's sword, and they trained the best swordsmen. 9. To Papa, thank you for directing the light Itza shot years ago onto me. It has only ever taught me how to run as fast as lightning, to embody forces greater than me. From Itzmana, Popocatépetl, Itzacoal, to La Malinche. 10. I know that I'm honorable, because I've lived long enough to write my own legacy.
Thank you, Herman. That turns out they're training swordsmen over at Metaphor. Y'all got better watch out. Next up is Alina.
Thank you. There we go. All right, thank you all for being here. So if anyone has questions about the outreach to ESL students for poetry, I am the one leading that project. Just quick tagline there, but let's proceed. Pipeline Pond. Houston, your heat is relentless, lashing me with rays of light, draining the swamp underneath my feet, wringing out my every drop. Leave me your pipeline pond so that I may lap up droplets from upturned leaves, seek the sycamore shade, hold the bayou on the tip of my tongue. Speak to me of the water rituals of a sinking city, its cycles of filth, cleansing, and floods. When it rains, swells, and flows to be made anew. Houston, your thirst is relentless, yet you stand on liquid gold. Oh, city on the bayou, when you can have it all, leave me your foliage, tree bark crevices, and underground burrows. We scurry around for relief in this vast playground. The muddy water marsh rushes around the bend, yet I wish to remain here. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm reminded that every time someone takes, I'm hitting the mic again. Sometimes everyone takes this off. I'm really tall. I'm sorry. Next up is Ania.
Hello everyone, my name is Ania. I am a scientist in training by the morning and a poetry and a literature addict at night. It's my first open mic and I've written poetry for as long as I can remember to breathe. So please, please be kind, and it's been really great poetry session so far. A lot of amazing poems and my head feels heavy already with all the emotions. So I study the brain for a living, and this poem is about identity, about finding a sense of belonging. And the last stanza kind of leaves it as an open-ended question, depending on whether you're a romantic or a spiritual person or someone who believes in the general collective human consciousness. You can interpret it the way you want it to. And I'm bringing some rhyme back to the poetry. Yeah. Do we belong to anyone? Bound are we to whom? Does the earth belong to the sapling, or is the plant owned by its bloom? What do we have on this earth? Salvation from life, I would like to say. But there is too much life to be liberated from. There is too much to give away. What does my soul bear? Let the key to the truth be born. What do your hearts bear? Tattered pieces when torn. What do I bear? An ounce of love for you, a drop too small, yet wide within, like a quenching droplet of dew. Do you belong to me? Would you say if you knew? Why answer such a question when my spirit dwells in you? Thank you.
Thank you, Ania. It is truly an honor to have, you said that was your first open mic, correct? It's truly an honor to hear first time, yeah, give it up. It's truly an honor to hear first time poets at open mics. I just think it's a unique experience that I get to have, and thank you so much for sharing with us. Next up is Kylie.
Wow, hi guys. I'm very happy for the Cambodia representation tonight. Yay, Cambodia. And make sure you buy Lianna Chap's chapbook. Get it? Letters to Jellyfish. Yay. This is Ashes in the Fish's Mouth. You did not leave me, yet I am empty again. praying by your mother's photograph. Change has consumed us like calls only ever end with see you later, I love you is exchanged only repeatedly like heartbreak. I never prayed until I had to. I wonder if blessings are only bought with sacrifice, if God, if there is a God, only exists to witness our suffering. I saw ashes in the fish's mouth after we cremated my great-grandmother, Luque. She wished for her ashes to be spread across the ocean over the sea that brought her home, the depths she swam through to escape genocide, start a new life in America. I tried to catch the fish with my bare hands, but it slipped away. I do not know if it lived, but I believe it was my fault. I should have learned how to speak Khmer fluently. Now I only pray to honor my ancestors. There is no God coming to save us, only the fantasies of death and life we make to comfort our sins. There are ashes in my mouth, and all the things I never say, how I want to tell you I love you in our language, but I'm too afraid of saying it wrong. So I pray silently on the temple carpet while everyone else is chanting, and I wake up with 50 scissors in my throat telling myself I'll never be Cambodian enough. There are ashes in the fish's mouth, and this is a cycle of rebirth. I wish that when we cremate you, your soul is carried from the ocean to the sky, reincarnated in heaven, wherever the afterlife may be. I hope you know I will always cherish you. I hope you are one with your mother, and your home full of love and harmony. You did not leave me, yet I am forever afraid of the day you will. No matter what belief I choose, you will always be with me, my grandmother, my mind, my papa. I love you eternally. In union we find meaning to life through stories. Make us whole again. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kylie. You're already a local celebrity. Everybody here already knows you. One to look out for, I'm telling you. Next up is Nikki.
Okay, this poem is after Taylor Swift's song Ruin the Friendship from her new album. Mist. Mom's gingers froze the winter you said my poems eluded interpretation, but still, you read more. When the star jasmine bloomed, you called me art novice, since in class I awed at the verdant leaves on your canvas. Later, in record-breaking heat, our racing strides across a parched field, raised knee by raised knee, matched speed. In autumn, you coveted my thinly veiled physique, and I wanted to stroke your dark, lush, long hair. That was the first time the leaves in Houston turned on time, bled red. Just as the first leaf fell onto the pavement, in the dark of the ghetto, the shot. It rang. You were supposed to major in architecture. I sobbed and shook at the funeral service. We followed your body to the grave, and your girlfriend threw white roses atop your casket. It was the first of many times I would feel the angst of being the other woman. Not because I succumbed to temptation this time, but because I didn't lean into it with my whole body. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, Nikki. Next up is Jasmine. Jasmine K.
This one's called An Unseen Gaze. For you crazy kids caught up in a game, playing amid a field of rye, you who've contemplated crossing the flashlight bridge. One sole luminescent pearl of a pupil, as if stranded in an oceanic expanse of endless iris, watches over the solitary stroller. Their stumbles and struggles, their paid silent pains and porcupine pillow muffled screams, sees through their deceptive testimonies at the court trials of the public podium they themselves often don't see. Attends your theatrical play where you've been cast as the villain, the extra, the mute woman, as bottom, and realizes when you're being real in your acting and acting in the reeling real. Gaze of an unseen, seeing mother. If the day ever arrives when you return her gaze, I imagine that from the chrysalis of your past suffocating as and submerged screams shell, that long slumbering, that scathed, that now soaring song shall ring out and resound with an awakened and augural, ruddy daughter's dawn. This, your crafted catcher's mitt.
Thank you so much, Jasmine. We have about 10 or so minutes left, so I won't get the chance to share my thoughts on all y'all's lovely work, but just know that I really appreciate it. Moving along, we have Fariha.
All right, hey y'all. A part of me was like, I hope my name doesn't get picked because this is heavy. I appreciate being in community with folks I met all around the same time. Adam, Chan, and Quang, when I moved back to Houston. So I appreciate you all and all that you give with your poetry and what you give to community. So I just wanted to say thank you out loud. And in the spirit of depression and Asian American Islander Month and Mother's Day, here's my contribution. Well before I learned to write a sentence, I was curating my story as a savior. At 4, I chased my brother, fell, cracked my bone on my joint. My mom removed her veil. She tied my elbow between 2 planks. I spent months in the hospital. So many people trying to save this bone. To save the bone, which means to save my elbow, which means to allow my fingers to move, which means to write the story of how I tried so hard to save someone other than myself. How my mom was here at the house, and my mom was there at the school, and my mom hid the poison I told her I would take, and then my mom walked us to the bus stop the next day, but never knew how to save me. How she didn't think to save herself. How she lashed out and created more fractures. How she read books titled My Problem Child. How she was confused. How she used curse words. How a woman cannot heal her girl wounds, which means she only leaves her daughter always girl, but in the body of a woman. With 32 stitches after multiple surgeries. For all my other wounds, there was no counseling. No glue or sutures one could give me, no closure because they didn't know how, and how everyone fought. But my house was never violent because the knives never pierced through the skin, because the insults were the knives, because the knives greeted us at different hours of the day, how it was calm until it was not, until my mom had a fit, how my dad came home past 8 p.m. after 12-hour shifts, how my mom made homemade bread. This is how too many Asian women bond in the kitchen because they cannot bond with their shame, so they knead it into perfectly irregular balls of dough and roll it out so they never heal. A year later, my brother started a fire. It spread throughout the bathroom and the hallway and everywhere, chasing 14 floors of family to the streets. Before my sister was born, the outside war got worse. The American embassy gave us 1 gas mask. We slept together in the living room. Explosions in the distance, like fireworks without the freedom. We had bomb drills in the American school. I sat next to my Korean and Jamaican friends, our backs to the windows, bones facing the threats. I never talk about the war, because a girl in a headscarf is supposed to be in a war zone anyways. A war zone nicely placed between the Americas and my parents' country of origin. And I too, like my upbringing, was always a peninsula, connected to something larger, yet so close to being island. Just like my mom's veil never allowed folks to see the war in her, how every manifestation of sperm in her womb became an unwanted enemy, how maybe she should have gotten an abortion, how women in her family bonded over trashing their men, how 70 years later she still calls my grandma with the same stuff. A 90-year-old listens thousands of miles away when my dad is out on Saturday mornings. How she says to her elder daughter, "I hope God takes my life before I ever have to live with you." How 36 years later, I never allow sperm to become anything in my body that I might grow to hate. That reminds me of something that is a part of me that I couldn't escape, of cracks in my body that I haven't even been aware of, that I haven't held with my spirit, because my body has held me up, and my spine has started to bend, and like many Asian women, I will die slowly as my bones become hollow. I will roll into myself and still be around long after others. My pain will knead into itself. I will become shorter. I will become bitter until I enter the grave in fetal position and wonder if our daughters could ever be holy.
Thank you so much, Fariha. Next up is Mary.
All the words your daughter can't speak. On a wooden schooner lit by the strawberry moon, John and Joseph debate whether the Bible is the literal word of God. Clapback boils in me like asking if Joseph has ever read poetry. Instead, I creak forward with you in the dark. We take turns taking pictures of the rusty red moon glowing over the weather-worn dock, setting rungs of obsidian, ocean on fire. You and John agree God may be the mystery. Praise the diesel engine. I wonder over the love John speaks, beginning decade 3 of reading to his daughter every night before bed. What is the word of God, if not every step in the dark, trying to capture moonlight on film, not quite knowing we will fall short.
Thank you so much, Mary. Next up is Raymond.
Metaphor plus 4.
We ate. Good afternoon. My name is Raymond McKinney, and this is a piece titled "Symphony of the Phoenix" that I wrote for Lotus and Ink, Lianna Chap's poet. Yeah, magazine. Symphony of the Phoenix. And in one final moment, one dream will reverse every nightmare you never got to have. You will learn to sprout wings but never touch the sky, etch clouds on the floor so you feel what it's like to walk on broken dreams. You will learn to break a silence with no more than a breath after all. Speech is just as feeble as living a life without hope. You will inhale blaze and exhale slush, drown upon life and rise only in death, basking as a god palms of thorns, and you will discover what it means to exist. That you are everything, and that you are not nothing without faith. Faith that the roots that hold you up will be strong enough to keep you elevated. And so in one moment, you will ask death to call out your name so that you can feel what you once were and what you are now under the symphony of the Phoenix. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Raymond. We have enough time for one more, and I have 5 names in here. If you're one of the 4 who does not get called tonight, my sincerest apologies. But let's get a lot of energy going for the last person. Whoa. The anticipation's killing me. Boom. Symphony Elmore.
I did not think I was going tonight. I am proudly 5'5". Okay, so hi, I'm Symphony Elmore, and I am a member of the Metaphor Slam team over there. Hey y'all, and I'll be reading this poem, which is technically 2 poems into one. I was scrolling on Instagram, wasting my life away, like the boomers say, when I saw these interesting books on my For You page called How-To Guides. I decided that I should join in on this trend with a how-to guide of my own. I call it How to Talk to a Black Person. Chapter 1, How to Address a Black Person. Please refrain from calling a Black person Black, as it is highly offensive. Obviously, they prefer the term Oreo. The reasoning is simple. Oreos are simple, palatable. They've been injected with just enough white cream to be palatable. A Black person can be palatable too, if you inject them with just enough hate for their own culture while praising yours, if you make them beg to live in a house with a white picket fence away from their Black neighbors, if you make them hate who they are, they too can be palatable. Chapter 2, How to Relate to a Black Person. Yes, Blacks are American, but they are different. You see, American history is like a piece of paper, pristine and pure, and slavery was like a little small blot of ink in the lower right corner, barely visible, nothing to hark on about. But the Black people love to go on their little protests about it. You obviously are not Black and cannot relate to this. So to relate, you must bring in your own experience. If they cry about George Floyd, mention George from The Office. Black Lives Matter, they'll say. Respond with All Lives Matter, or even better yet, Blue Lives Matter. It doesn't matter that the Black Lives Matter movement started with a blue man with a black gun who killed a black man. It doesn't matter that the blue lives snuff the Black lives out. Boom, boom! The Black lives lie in pools of red blood. Chapter 3, How to Dispose of a Black Person. Listen, it's not your fault they're in your neighborhoods. Your perfect white picket fences are being infested with them. They color the walls, they change the tile, they ruin the uniform look of the neighborhood itself. It's not your fault they're in your schools. What right do they have to sit next to your children and learn exactly what your kids learn? What if they go to college? What if they steal jobs from deserving white children? They'll steal your lives. What you need to do is buy a cloak from your local store, in white preferably, or get a gun from the gas station or grocery store. When you don your white cloak and write cross or wield your weapon of choice, plug your nose. Strange fruit hangs from the trees. Again, you don't want your kids getting exposed. Chapter 4, How to Put the Blame on a Black Person. This is the final step. You've gotten rid of the parasite, the smudge on the perfect paper of American history. Wash the blood off the skin, the tar that stained your skin white on the outside, but your deeds are black within. And even though the posters have Black Lives Matter in large white letters and George Floyd is finally getting his well-deserved 2 minutes of renown, the all-white jury will condemn, and the lawyers, who coincidentally happen to be white, will agree, and the white witnesses will testify, and the white teachers will teach your kids will never know, and the black part of the Oreo will disappear, leaving only the white palatable center.
Thank you so much, Symphony. Well, that does conclude that concludes the May edition of our open mic. I want to give a few thank yous before I let you all go. First and foremost, thank you to Brazos Bookstore for hosting us and keeping us here until 8 p.m. It is truly a blessing. Secondly, thank you to Public Poetry and all their partners for collaborating with Houston Writing Central this month. It has truly been an honor to see so much new work through that collaboration. And last and most importantly, give yourselves a round of applause. You guys are the stars. Y'all are the stars. I hope to see you back here next month. We host open mics every third Friday of each month, unless otherwise specified on our Instagram at Houston Writing Central. Please be safe getting home. Get yourself a nice meal for me because I know I'm starving. And buy some chat books, learn some information, get connected. Take care, y'all.